Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Sondra. Here I talk about my journey with Mast Cell Activation Syndrome, or what I like to call Angry Mast Cells, and how I successfully manage this condition holistically. Today I want to show you what living holistically with MCAS looks like for me, and a snapshot of the most critical time of the day for my holistic protocol, my morning routine. Let's take a quick look at where I started and where I am now with my healing journey. I was officially diagnosed in 2012 and started off with the usual prescribed medications for MCAS. Gastrochrome, up to 40 milliliters per day. It's also called oral sodium cromolyn. Fexofenadine is an over-the-counter antihistamine, up to 720 milligrams per day. I took Benadryl for the excessive itching that I experienced. For bouts of extreme inflammation, I took the steroid methylprednisolone. I also experience, to extreme temperatures, typically cold in particular, respiratory distress. So I was prescribed a inhaler. For bouts of neuropathy, which is very typical for me with MCAS, I was prescribed Ketotifen. My doctor made sure that I always carried an EpiPen, so that was part of my protocol. There was a typical H2 blockers at the time that was ranitidine. And then for eye inflammation, which I experienced a lot with MCAS, I was put on an eye drop, olipatadine. For my eczema, a topical corticosteroid was prescribed, propionate, and then I also took vitamin D, K2, and quercetin supplements. Fast forward, and for the last few years, I have been able to reset, restore my body holistically, and I only take the occasional fexofenadine, usually not more than 180 milligrams per day. This transformation was an absolute must for me because, like most with MCAS, I have multiple chemical sensitivity, which makes me react to the fillers and inactive ingredients in most medicines and supplements. Next, let's talk briefly about my daily morning routine. I always start my day with assessing how my body is responding to the prior day's stressors, be it foods or environmental exposures. This is very important because my typical window of reactivity is delayed, usually up to 5 to 12 hours after exposure. So symptoms will typically start showing up early morning, and I track this digitally using my trigger journal process. It is the most important holistic tool that I use to manage my flares. The journal prompts me to capture all of the various stressors typically experienced by those with MCAS. That includes foods, chemicals, temperature extremes, and much, much more. My symptoms, and again, many other things. If you want to learn more about the trigger journaling process, I have included a link in the description box below to one of my videos where I explain the process in greater detail. I start my day with a specific stretch routine that helps me determine if I have exceeded any stressor thresholds. Again, extremely important in managing MCAS flares because staying below these thresholds is the key to long-term symptom relief and healing. Next, the breath I start my day with 99% of the time, unless I'm fasting or I'm traveling and I just can't find these foods. It's always steel cut oats, organic and gluten-free when possible, with homemade almond milk, nuts, always pecans and walnuts, green apple, blueberries, strawberries. I add a little maple syrup as sweetener, and I always have a lean protein. It's almost always a chicken breast or chicken thigh, and I also have a cup of coffee. It's usually a very high quality single origin coffee. I love Kenya coffee or East African coffees. It seems to work very well with my system. And for creamer, I use my homemade almond milk. This is a very intentional choice based on my trigger journaling process. that supports my entire immune system and stabilizes my mast cells. I do not allow myself to be restricted by any diet trends like FODMAP. I don't even stick to an extremely low histamine diet, low oxalates. Instead, I have mastered the holistic tool of trigger journaling and know how to listen to my body and respond appropriately. It has been the game changer for me. I will leave a link to my almond milk recipe also in the description box below. If you have a favorite holistic tool that you use to manage your MCAS, please share it in the comments section below. Or if you have a specific question about my regimen, feel free to shoot me an email or leave me a question in the comments section also. If you need more support on your MCAS journey, I offer one-on-one coaching. The links are below to learn more about how to book an online session with me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the information was helpful. If so, share it with someone that might also find it useful. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and as always, be well and take care of those angry mast cells.